I used my bonus to get my wife a used crossover so she could visit her mother anytime she wanted. When she saw it, she burst out laughing and said, "What is this? A retirement wagon?" Then she threw the keys at my chest and snapped, "Drive it yourself, loser. It suits your pathetic little life." I just smiled. Today, my wife called me 35 times in a row, screaming, crying, barely coherent, saying she couldn't believe what I did. So IDK how to start this without sounding petty as hell. But whatever. This is the wildest week I've had in years. I'll just say it. If you're married, don't ignore the weird little stuff. It adds up. The last month has been off, like little things stacking up. Isla, my wife, 31, keeps forgetting to tell me stuff that's actually important, like her mom Caroline needing cash again, or that she ordered a bunch of random home gadgets that just show up at the door. She's been glued to her phone more than usual, not just doom scrolling, but like typing with both hands, replying fast, then locking her screen when I walk by. Not hiding it, just not sharing. You notice it. Lately, her whole vibe is different. She's weirdly defensive about nothing, always making jokes about how my boring life is catching up with me or how she should have married someone with more drive. Real supportive stuff. NGL, it stings, but I let it slide, hoping it's just a phase or something. Background? I got a bonus last month, enough for something nice, not insane, not a Tesla or whatever. Isla's always moaning about how Caroline, her mom, is trapped in her apartment across the city, never gets to see her grandkids, we don't have any, phew, and how she wishes she could visit Caroline more but her own car is too unreliable. She brings it up like every other week, how no one helps her mom, but her. So I figure, yeah, maybe I can help for once, right? I spent weeks scoping out deals, test drove a ton of crossovers, even dragged my cousin Everly along to get a second opinion. She's the only one in the family who doesn't talk to Isla. Well, I settle on this clean, gently used crossover. Low miles, super reliable, nothing flashy, but not embarrassing. Like, it's not a sports car, but it's nicer than what she's driving now. I pick it up, clean it out, get a bow and everything. I'm not usually sappy, but whatever, I wanted to do something nice, so the day I show her, I tell her to come outside. She's got her phone in one hand. Caroline's on speaker. I can hear her in the background going on about how no one respects her. Isla sees the crossover, stops, stares a second, then just straight up laughs. Not a happy laugh either, but that dry laugh people do when they're mocking you. Caroline's voice gets louder, asking what's going on. Isla puts her on mute, but I can see her rolling her eyes. She says, "What is this, a retirement wagon? You expect me to drive this?" She's not joking. She's actually annoyed. She picks up the keys from my hand, kind of shoves them against my chest hard and says, "You drive it, loser. Suits your pathetic little life." I'd love to say I had some cool comeback, but nah, I just stood there looking at her, and for a second I felt like I'd been slapped. Not actually slapped, but you know what I mean. Except then she actually does slap my arm. Like, not super hard, but enough that I step back. I look over, and our neighbor Howard is standing in his driveway staring at us, trying to look like he's not. Isla just storms back inside, slams the door so hard the glass rattles. Caroline is yelling on speaker. I can hear her through the door. I stay outside, just holding the keys, trying to figure out what the hell just happened. I go back in after a few minutes and she's pacing, full-on ranting at her mom, saying I'm cheap, I'm clueless, how she can't believe I thought she'd want something like that. She doesn't even look at me. I check my phone, nothing from her, no apology, not even a joke. Just a notification from our bank about another withdrawal, which is weird because I thought she already paid all the bills for the month. I check the app and there's another charge for Caroline's apartment. At this point, I'm just annoyed. I ask her about it and she waves me off, says it's none of my business and she'll pay me back, which is what she said like 5 times before. It's not a ton of money, but it's not nothing. And it's always, "I'll pay you back," but never actually does. Her mom texts me too, something snarky about how real men provide for their wives' families. Block. That night, I barely sleep. Not because I'm sad, just pissed. I keep replaying it over and over. The vibe in the house is toxic. She slams doors every time she moves, leaves the kitchen a mess, ignores me unless she wants something. At one point, she tries to act like nothing happened, asks if I want to order food, I just say no, and go to the spare room. She stomps out, calls me childish, whatever. I wake up early, try to shake it off, but everything feels off now. I notice her laptop is open on the table. She's got spreadsheets up, some emails about transfers, nothing illegal, but like, she's definitely moving money around. I don't say anything. She leaves her phone face down, always. She's got a folder of receipts in her bag. She never used to keep receipts for anything. I start to wonder if she's hiding something, or just preparing for something. I remember last week she said she was tired of feeling stuck, and I laughed it off, but Now I'm connecting dots. My mom texts me around noon, random, asking if I'm doing okay, which is weird because we haven't talked in weeks. I say I'm fine, and she says she had a bad feeling. I don't tell her anything, but now I'm thinking maybe I've been ignoring too much. Dad calls later, says he saw me outside with the car and asks if I'm finally getting rid of the old one. I just say we'll see. Rest of the day is just awkward. Isla goes out, comes back late, doesn't say where she was, I ask. She just shrugs and says out. I offer her the keys again. She says she doesn't want to be seen driving that, says it's embarrassing, says it's what old people drive. I tell her she can walk then, and she throws her bag at the wall, hard. It leaves a mark, Ingle. She storms off, slams the door again. Classic. I try to eat dinner, but she's on the phone with Caroline for like an hour. Doors closed. I hear my name come up a couple times, then laughter. Not gonna lie, that one gets to me. I check our bank account again, and there's another weird transfer. Not huge, but not nothing. I ask her about it. She ignores me. Goes to bed early. Locks the door, which she's never done before. So yeah, maybe I'm overthinking it, but something's off. I'm not about to just sit here and take it though. Not after today. I know I'm not crazy. I know what I saw. And I know how she's acting. I didn't do anything to deserve that, and I'm not going to just let it slide. She doesn't know it yet. But next time she tries to use me as her punching bag, she's going to find out I can hit back. Not literally, I'd never. But I'm done letting her walk over me. Not sure where this is headed, but on NGL, I feel like something's about to give. If you've ever had that feeling where you're just done being the nice guy, you get it. I'm not waiting for her to make the first move. That's all for now. If you made it this far, appreciate it. Might update if things get crazier. TBH, I think they will. Update 1. Alright, so this is the update people wanted, I guess. Didn't expect to come back on here so quick, but she asterisk DIE got even weirder, and I'm not about to just take it. Last post was about the car. Her losing it on me, all that. It's not even about the car anymore. It's about respect, or like the total lack of it. So after that mess, I tried to just keep my head down. Figured maybe it'd blow over, right? Nah. Isla doubled down. Next morning, she's already up, making so much noise in the kitchen it's like she wanted to wake the whole street. Her keys are on the table, right next to her phone, and she's scrolling through group chats and DMs like she's trying to solve a crime. I ask if she wants coffee, and she says, don't bother. She's going to her mom's. Doesn't even look at me. I say, all right, whatever, and decide to go for a walk to clear my head. On the way back, I notice Caroline's car is gone from her usual spot, which is weird since she never drives unless it's for groceries. I check my phone and there's a transaction from our joint account. Again, apartment rent for Caroline. Not small either. This is like the third time this month. So I text Isla about it and she just leaves me on read. Classic. Decide to check out what else has been coming out of our joint account, and honestly, I should have done this sooner. There's all these weird little transfers, like 50 bucks here, 100 there, some to Caroline, some to other names I don't even recognize. And it's not just once or twice. It's a pattern going back months. Not enough to notice right away, but it adds up. I text her again and she finally snaps back that she's handling family stuff and to stop being so controlling. Yeah, okay. I call my cousin Everly just to vent. She says I'm being too nice, that Isla's been running her mouth about how she deserves better and how I'm holding her back. I ask Everly if she's heard anything weird from the family side, and she says she avoids them like the plague. But she's not surprised. Anyway, I start paying closer attention. Isla comes home late again, doesn't say where she was. She's got new bags, new shoes, all this stuff she never mentioned. And when I ask, she just rolls her eyes and says it's old. She's cold, always on edge, sometimes just outright mean for no reason. She keeps her phone face down, puts her laptop away if I walk in. One night I hear her whispering on the phone in the spare room, door half shut, and when I walk by she gets real quiet, then starts fake laughing like I'm not there. That night I couldn't sleep, got out of bed around 2 a.m., decided to check some mail that's been piling up. There's a letter addressed to me, but I didn't recognize the sender. Open it, and it's a statement for a private loan. My name on it, but I never took one out. Not a huge amount, but enough to make me mad. I Google the company, check the dates, and realize it lines up with the weird transfers from our account. I go back through old texts and realize there's been a bunch of times Isla said she was reimbursing me for stuff but never actually did. I print out everything, statements, texts, even her messages to Caroline where she says she just needs to keep him happy until the house is paid off. Yeah, found that one on the shared tablet she forgot to log out of. Wild. So now I know for sure it's not just me being paranoid. She's been using me as her ATM for her mom, for herself, probably even her friends. For real, I don't even think she likes Caroline that much. She just wants to feel like the big shot who takes care of everyone. And the way she talks about me to other people, Bro, if someone said half that asterisk to you about me to my face, I'd be out. I start making moves. First thing, I move my payroll to a new bank. Takes a couple days, but worth it. Then, I open new accounts, start transferring anything that's just in my name. I freeze the cards she uses for emergencies. She finds out the next time she tries to buy a bunch of junk online and comes at me full-on screaming. She tries to smack my arm when I block her from grabbing my wallet, and I just step back and tell her to chill. She pushes past me, grabs her bag, and storms out, slamming the door so hard it knocks a picture off the wall. I don't even bother picking it up. She comes back later with Caroline. Not even kidding. Caroline walks in like she owns the place, goes straight to the fridge and starts complaining there's nothing decent to eat. She corners me in the kitchen, tells me I'm ruining everything, and that I owe this family more than I realize. I tell her to back off, that I know about the transfers and the loan, and she goes off saying I'm ungrateful and should be thankful. They let me be part of their lives. Isla tries to jump in, starts ranting about how I'm embarrassing her in front of her mom, and I just walk away. Not worth it. After that, I start documenting everything. Receipts, screenshots, voice notes, just in case. I call up a lawyer, the kind that doesn't mess around, and set up a meeting. I bring a fat folder of everything I've found, lay it all out, and he just raises his eyebrows like, damn. He tells me I'm not crazy, that people do this all the time, and that if I want out, I need to do it smart. So we start the process. I don't tell Isla Ishi asterisk D. In the meantime, I shut down all the extras. No more paying for Caroline's apartment. I call the landlord and give notice, tell him it's on her now. I cancel everything that isn't 100% necessary. No more streaming services, no more extra subscriptions, no more random gifts for her friends or her mom. She notices quick, comes at me in the living room, full rage, tries to shove me with both hands. I stand my ground, tell her she can pay for her own stuff now. She calls me selfish, pathetic, a loser, all the hits. I just stare her down and walk away. She throws a mug at the wall. It shatters everywhere, but I don't flee. Last straw for me was when I overheard her on the phone with Caroline, talking about how he's not going to do anything. He never does. I just have to keep pushing until I get what I want. She said it like it was a joke, but nah, I'm done. So now I'm moving in silence. Paperwork's getting done, money's locked down, and for the first time in years, I actually feel like I'm in control again. She has no idea what's coming. Next update's probably going to be the big one. If you've ever been in a spot where you realize the people closest to you are just using you, you know how this feels, but I'm not just going to let it slide. More soon, I guess. Update 2. NGL. Didn't even plan to write another update so soon, but things got extra messy, like way beyond what I thought was possible. Maybe I'm just stubborn, but there's no way I'm letting this go. Not after how she tried to play me. If you read the last post, you know I started shifting money, locking down accounts, cutting off all the little ways she was draining me. That was just the warm-up. So here's how it started ramping up. First hint, things were about to get wild. Isla starts acting sweet, like making coffee for me, asking if I want to watch something together, being fake nice. She never does this unless she wants something. I just play along. Keep it short. Tell her thanks, but I'm busy. She keeps glancing at her phone, waiting for some notification. I see her DMing people, probably looking for someone to vent to. She starts dropping hints about money being tight, how her card got declined at the grocery store, how it's so unfair that everything's so expensive now. Keeps sighing loud enough for me to hear but doesn't ask directly. I just nod and keep scrolling, acting like I didn't notice. She tries the guilt card next. She's got Caroline, her mom, on speaker again, making these loud comments about how hard it is to support family when some people don't appreciate you. I turn up the TV. Caroline tells her to stand up for herself, says, I'm ungrateful, all that. At one point, Caroline actually comes over, just walks straight into the house, doesn't even knock. She sees me on the couch, tries to corner me in the kitchen, says I need to stop punishing Isla for small mistakes. I tell her I'm just minding my own business. She tries to get in my face, like physically steps right up to me and starts poking at my chest. I tell her to back off. She starts yelling. Isla comes in, starts screaming at both of us to stop. Caroline shoves a chair. It tips over. She almost trips. I just stand there and let her burn out. I DK what kind of reaction they wanted, but I didn't give it to them. Just went upstairs and locked the door. Next morning, both of them are gone. Just a note saying they'll be out for a while. Meanwhile, I'm getting calls from random numbers, some mutual friends, even her cousin asking what's going on. Apparently, Isla's been telling everyone I'm emotionally abusive and controlling the money. I screenshot the transfers, the loan notice, the receipts, and just send them to the family group chat with a quick, for the record, here's what's actually happening. My brother texts me after, just says damn and asks if I need anything. My mom says she wishes she'd warned me harder when we got married. I'm like, yeah, me too. So now the financial stuff gets real. I freeze the last joint card and she finds out fast. She shows up at home with bags of groceries, realizes her card doesn't work, and just dumps everything on the floor, yelling about how embarrassing it was. She tries to grab my wallet. I move away. She swings at my shoulder, misses, and then starts shoving me hard. I tell her to stop. She keeps pushing. So I just say if she touches me again, I'll call someone. She backs off, slams the bedroom door, and you can hear her throwing stuff inside. She comes out an hour later, hair a mess, eyes red, tries to act like nothing happened. I just ignore her. The next few days, she tries everything, crying, yelling, even threatening to leave. I tell her to go ahead. She says I'll regret it, then storms out and slams the front door so hard the neighbor's dog freaks out. She's gone for hours, probably with Caroline. I don't care. I start making calls, first to the landlord of Caroline's apartment. Tell him I'm not paying for it anymore. Notice is in 60 days. He says fine, not his problem. Then I go through every account, make sure my name's off everything that isn't mine. Change passwords, set up alerts, all of it. I even pull out the old folder of docs I started back when I first thought something was off. A mess of screenshots, bank statements, emails, even a couple voice memos of her yelling about money. I organize it all, just in case. By now, word's out. Her friends are texting me, some neutral, some mad, some just nosy. I send the facts, nothing else. Nobody can say I didn't warn them. Even her aunt takes my side, says she always knew Isla was difficult. That one made me laugh, not gonna lie. Then comes the lawyer stuff. I meet up, go over everything, and he says I'm in a good spot if I want to push hard. Tells me to stop talking to Isla about money. Let the paperwork do the talking. So I do. Server at work didn't want drama at the house. She calls me 35 times in a row, leaves voicemails barely understandable, just crying and yelling. I don't answer. She shows up at home that night, face red, tears everywhere, starts screaming at me in the driveway. Neighbors peek out their windows. She actually tries to slap me. I block her arm. She starts sobbing, sinks down on the front step. I just watch, arms crossed, until she gets up and storms inside. Last move, and this one felt good, not gonna lie. I send her mom the lease notice, CC'd Isla, so they both know exactly when the apartment's up. Tell them it's their problem now. Caroline blows up my phone, leaves a 5-minute message about how I'm ruining their lives and I'll be alone forever. I just delete it. The mood in the house is dead now. She barely talks, just paces around, slams doors, mutters to herself, tries to get close to me a couple times, asks if we can work things out. I tell her point blank I'm done. She goes off, calls me a loser again, says I'll never find anyone better. I just shake my head and walk away. So yeah, not sure what's next exactly, but for once I'm not the one losing sleep. She's scrambling, Caroline's scrambling, and I feel like I finally got the upper hand. If you're reading this and you think you have to just take it, nah, you don't. Push back. Sometimes people only respect the consequences, not the warnings. If anything bigger happens, I'll post again. I get the feeling it's not over, but I'm ready for whatever's next. Final update. So here's how it actually went down for anyone still following this. I've never had so many voicemails, missed calls, and texts in my life. I guess you could say this is the end game, but honestly, it just feels like the only way things ever could have gone. No happy ending, no movie scene, just the real fallout. The first big sign something was off was how quiet the house got. Not peaceful, just empty. No more clatter from Isla slamming cabinets, no more Caroline calling at all hours. Just the hum of the fridge and the occasional DM from a friend or my brother checking in. Every time I thought I'd have a minute to myself, though, there'd be another call from Isla. She left 35 voicemails in a single day. Half of them were angry. The rest were her crying, trying to say she was sorry. She couldn't believe what I did, demanding to know why I'd turned on her. I didn't answer a single one. Should have been weird, right? Silence after so much chaos, but it just made me feel sharper, more focused. I started clearing out my stuff from the joint closet, boxing up what was mine, making lists of what I'd have to get rid of. The folder of evidence stayed on the kitchen table, where I knew she'd see it when she finally came home. I wanted her to know I was done playing. When she walked in that night, she looked wrecked. Mascara streaks, hair a mess, jacket barely on. She tried to slam the door but missed. Too tired, I think. She just dropped her bag, walked straight up to me, and tried to push past, like she was going to grab my phone or something. I blocked her, just moved aside. She started yelling how I was ruining her life, how she couldn't believe I'd embarrass her at work by having her served. Said everyone was asking questions now, and how could I be so heartless after everything we'd built? I didn't yell. I just slid the folder across the counter, told her if she wanted answers, they were all right there. She opened it, saw the printouts, the bank stuff, the screenshots. You could see her face go from red to white in about 5 seconds. She started flipping through it, mumbling about how it wasn't what it looked like, how she could explain If I'd just listen, she begged. Actually dropped to her knees at one point, grabbing at my leg like we were in a bad drama. Tried to pull herself up, slipped, and actually smacked her hand on the cabinet. I pulled away, told her to stop. She got up, started sobbing, then switched straight to anger. Said I was cruel, vindictive, that I'd regret this and she'd make sure of it. She stormed upstairs, slamming the door so hard a picture fell in the hallway. I left it there. She didn't come down for hours, just stayed in the room, wailing into the phone to Caroline. I heard bits and pieces, stuff about me being impossible, about how she'd fix it. At some point, Caroline tried calling me again, but I blocked her. Next day, I got a call from the landlord for Caroline's apartment. He said he'd gotten the 60-day notice, wanted to confirm. I said it was correct. I wouldn't be paying another cent. He said he'd let Caroline know. That was the last I heard from him. Isla tried to fight the divorce. She started hiding my mail, tried moving cash from the house account to her own, even tried to claim I'd stolen money from her. I had every receipt, every statement, every text. My lawyer sent everything over. Her attempts just made her look worse. She called up friends to try and rally them, but most just wanted to stay out of it. A couple sent me DMs saying they had no idea things were like this, and that they hoped I was okay. Even Howard from 2 doors down stopped by, said he saw the cops at Caroline's building for a noise complaint. Guess they're not handling the stress well. Last straw, I guess, was when she tried to get physical again. She cornered me in the hallway, tried to slap me, missed, then shoved me into the wall. I just stepped out of the way, told her if she laid hands on me again, I'd have her out of the house faster than she could blink. She screamed that I was ruining everything. I told her I was just finishing what she started. From there, it was all business. My lawyer fast-tracked the filings, and the prenup, she never bothered to read it, meant most of the house, the assets, almost everything, stayed with me. All her secret savings and the loan, my lawyer had it locked up, and she's now on the hook for paying back the loan in her name. She tried to drag it out, but every week that went by just made her angrier and more desperate. Caroline lost her apartment. I heard from Everly, my cousin, that she tried to move in with Isla, but Isla couldn't afford the place, so now they're both scrambling. No more retirement wagon jokes. Speaking of the car, I gave it to Everly, who's been working double shifts and taking public transit for months. She cried when I handed her the keys. Not going to pretend it made up for everything, but at least one person got something good out of this. So now, the house is quiet for real. No more yelling. No more slamming doors, just me, my stuff, and my own damn peace for once. People keep asking if I'm okay, if I feel bad, if I'd ever take Isla back if she changed. Not a chance. This isn't about second chances or forgiveness. It's about not letting someone trash your life and then beg to stay when the bills come due. Never thought I'd be the guy to actually pull the trigger on something like this, but FR, sometimes you gotta be the one who ends it. I'm not sorry, not even a little. Sometimes losers win, and when they do, they don't look back. Might update if anything wild happens, but I think I'm finally free. Thanks for reading, for real.